So big news, the merger with Telaria. Tell us a little bit about sort of the thoughts behind that and kind of what the combined company will be like.
Yeah, no, so we're super excited about it. Mark and I have known each other for several years, and we were talking off and on about, boy, wouldn't it be neat if we weren't these micro cap public companies floating in this big sea? And then the timing never seemed to be right to have that substantive conversation. And then with their focus almost going exclusively to CTV, and Rubicon's focus always being this omni-channel publisher agent in terms of starting as a display company, then becoming mobile, and then app, and then digital out of home, audio, you name it, and video obviously being a big piece of it. But the missing piece from the Rubicon portfolio was our ability to work with our publishers on their CTV inventory. And so Telaria combining with Rubicon just makes a ton of sense. And the publisher feedback has been fabulous. The buyer feedback's been fabulous. Our employees are super excited because they get access to more inventory types. We get access to CTV capabilities. And so the new company, when we go to market, I think it'll be a very powerful proposition for buyers and sellers.
Great. So what are the opportunities in the video SSP market? Obviously it's a big area, but there's some major players. What are the opportunities, and sort of what is perhaps a value proposition of being an independent?
Well, great question. I'll answer the last first and we'll work backwards. We think independence has been important, but is only increasing in importance. Independence to us, people have different definitions of it, but independence to us means we don't own any inventory, so we would never favor our own inventory over our partner's inventory. And from a buyer perspective, we don't have a DSP, so we don't compete with our DSP partners. So that to me is true independence. And in a world where consolidation is occurring with the high value media, they're very, very, very judicious about who they work with, given the inherent conflicts of their businesses. And so I think that independence is only growing in importance. Scale is only growing in importance, and global is increasing in importance. And so the scale global player is very differentiated from the rest of the field. And from a video perspective, it's still a very specialized area that requires a fair amount of resources to put into it. It's a steep learning curve. Render rates aren't where the industry wants them to be. So to be able to have the resources that we will have as this combined entity, cash balances of $150 million, public market cap of over $1 billion, to be able to put that into the areas of the highest growth, the highest value, which is video and CTV, is going to be very exciting. And I think it's going to deliver great benefits to our publishers and buyers.
And Michael, in terms of defining the value of the SSP and sort of what publishers and buyers are looking for in an SSP, how is that changing, and what are some of the expectations that you find in the marketplace?
Yeah, I think the SSP value proposition has been a journey. If you go to the early days in the 2007, 2008, an SSP was a pretty monogamous relationship with the publisher. They picked an SSP, and buyers knew that they had to work with that SSP to get hold of that inventory. And then, especially in the non-CTV world, with the advent of header bidding, it became much less of a singular relationship, and there were multiple SSPs that really served as less as an overall yield management partner, just more of a demand source. Hey, I'll plug in 10 SSPs, I'm a publisher, they'll throw money my way, life will be good. We're starting to see a reverse of that, or a contraction. So you hear the term supply path optimization. So buyers are being very picky about who they work with. So they're working with less and less SSPs, and publishers are working with less SSPs. So it's starting to contract the market at that point. Video, particularly CTV, hasn't gone in the direction of header bidding. And so an SSP relationship in the CTV world is quite similar to what it was in the early days of digital display. And so I think that the bet we're making is that that's only going to increase, that the high value inventory is going to be with a handful of players. They'll want to work with an independent, and they'll probably want to work with them as much as a software partner as a demand partner. So SSPs traditionally have been just, we were born from a world of, ad networks were daisy chained, and then SSPs came in and automated that process. But they were always viewed as the guy who brought a check to the company, the publisher. If you start to look at our platform play, Demand Manager, and Telaria's platform play, their video management platform, it's much more of a software business where it's a lot less about bringing ad demand. You can, and we have the capability to do it, but it's more about holistic yield management, making sure that the pipes are working and making sure that the demand, even if I source the demand, meaning the publisher sources it, it's flowing through a unified dashboard. And I think that that's what we're seeing, the evolution of SSP 2.0 or 3.0, becoming more of a software play, becoming more of a platform play. And both companies, Rubicon and Telaria, are very similarly aligned in terms of our thinking about how to go to market in that way.